So we're back with Collaborate and Learn part 14. Last part I was looking at the drum mix, and this week I'm going to focus on the musical elements. But something occurred to me, and what it is when I wiped the mixer clean, I wiped off the effects that were being automated. So it's something we're going to have to revisit. All right, so that's something that I should have reminded you guys about. I totally forgot about it, so I'm going to put an annotation in the previous video. So let's have a look. So we had the beats, which is sounding nice. Let me just turn this down my side. And I want to start bringing in these other elements, the stabs. Just going to do a quick volume check on here. Going to bring the volume down on the second stab, the short stab, and bass, which is way too loud at the moment. Excuse the planes. I don't live right close to the airport. I mean, I used to. Some of my early videos you could hear the planes louder. I'm a few miles away now further, but sometimes the planes do take off over this side and you do hear them. So apologies, but anyway. It's actually sounded quite nice, but you know what I want to do? I want to set up some more return effects and work on the EQ on these as well. So in terms of a return effect, I feel that we need to get like a nice delay on the go. Very common in a mix, you get, as I said previously, a short reverb, long reverb, a delay, maybe a couple of modulation effects or so. So we're going to come back and we're going to do the effects channel track. Going to drop down and I'm going to go for the delay here, the ping pong delay, which means that the sound is going to go left and right. In terms of the mix, we need to set that to 100% because it's a return effect, and the actual delay time is either going to be the 4s or the 8s. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. So let's solo this, and let's go to the sends. I'm going to drop down and select from the ping pong delay. I'm going to turn the power on. This is feeding into that. Let's have a listen. Another thing to bear in mind with Cubase is when you've got something soloed, if you add an effect, send, after, you're not going to hear it, so you need to re-solo. There we go. So too much feedback for me. Feedback is defining the amount of echoes that you're hearing. So if you do this short, you only hear a few. The other thing about this is the timing. I think I'm going to go for the subdivisions at 8. That feels better. Feels there's too much of a send level here. I'm going to bring it down. That feels nice. Giving it a sense of, you know, kind of movement and space, filling in the gaps a little bit. Just want to listen again actually without that effect. Okay, I'm hearing a little bit of a click on the front of the sound. So I'm going to open up the Groove Agent 1. This is the sound. Quick fix for this is probably down to the start point here, to be honest. So there's a non-zero crossing edit point, but a quick fix just to take the attack slower. That's better. That's fixed it up. Sounds great. Now EQ wise, I've got the earbuds on again, so I haven't got the perfect monitoring, but I can hear there's quite a lot of low frequency energy. So we're going to turn on the low cut, and of course you've got the spectral analysis on display. So I'm going to probably roll off. Let's bring this up. Let's have a listen. Just making the sound a bit tighter. Okay, I wanted to see how it sounded up there, but that's taken away too much of the guts of the sound. It's actually feeling nice, somewhere around 104 Hertz. Let's bring the delay back on. Maybe a bit of that reverb as well. Once again, unsolo, re-solo, so we can get this new send effect. Okay. Gives it a sense of kind of binding back a little bit into the mix. That's what can happen with reverb. It can push the sound back, so it feels like it's sitting really nicely now. So yeah, let me just take solo off. I'm going to bring it up. Needs to be a bit more present. Wow, that flute's really loud. Let me mute that. Okay, now the bass definitely feels like it needs a little bit of work, and let's take a look at what's going on here. This is a sine wave, the bass. Let's take a look. Just trying to remember which instrument we used for this. Okay, the Prologue. So the Prologue is, it's like a virtual analog, and it looks like there's only one oscillator turned up here. This is with a sine wave, so it's a very simplistic sound. All right, so when you take a look at this, you can see it's simple. When it goes up and down the bass, the notes, you're not seeing any energy up here, so there's not actually a lot to work with when it comes to this, but it is occurring on some notes at the same time as the bass line. All right, so it's something to bear in mind. So there could be certain positions where it's going to clash. I'm going to turn on the low cut though. I'm going to roll this up. The kick drum we've got is quite, it's definitely got some low frequency energy. So I'm going to see if we could just roll it back a little bit here. You can hear it's taking the guts away. Now that's working nice. One of the tricks that you can do to help with this problem with kicks and bass occurring at the same time is to actually take a time delay over the whole bass line, make it a little bit later. Gives the transient on the kick some more space to exist. Sometimes it can create a really nice groove as well, slightly more lazy. So you've got the track delay in milliseconds over here. I'm going to take that to maybe about 20 and see how that feels. Let's bring this back. That's actually working really nicely. I'm just going to take it to 30 though. Just want to see how that feels in terms of the actual vibe. Yeah, okay, slightly too lazy. I'm going to take it to 20 milliseconds, so it's been shifted over the whole track. So that's working nicely, I think. I really need to cross-reference this on speakers, and I will do right at the very end to make some final checks. Let's bring the short stab in. So this is occurring quite regularly. Sounding good. Let's just have a look on the EQ. Now, there's actually quite a lot of low-end energy here. I wasn't expecting that, but I've got these earbuds. Much better, a higher amount of cut here. I wonder how this would sound if we fed through to the delay as well. I'm pretty sure, in fact, we had it with a little bit of delay last time before I wiped all the settings clear. Let's have a listen. It's better with less send level. Yeah, that feels like it's grooving really nicely. Didn't really feel like I needed to do too much with that. Let me just listen to these two here. I feel like they're working well together. This is the thing about good sounds, if the sounds are really good at source, if you make good decisions about sounds at the beginning, if they're from good libraries, they've been treated, it really does make life easier. Remember, these were sampled stabs. So let's come back. Okay, there's a clap that I'd like to bring up. I'm not sure if it's this one. Okay, it's a clap on here. So a quick fix for this, because they're all coming out the same output, is to find it inside the Groove Agent 1. There it is. Going to bring the level up a couple of dBs. Maybe a bit more. Okay, that's nice. Now, At this point, I'd probably think about the stereo out. All right, so we're talking about the inserts over here, and what do we have? There's nothing at the moment, and what we want to do is, with the stereo out, is to do a little bit of kind of DIY mastering. We'd be basically looking at gelling the mix together first with some compression, then maybe a bit of EQ, and then limiting on the end. So that's I'm going to bring that in now. I feel it's a good stage to do that. Of course, there are still elements that we need to bring into the mix as well, things like the flute and stuff. I'll do that, but I just want to take a look. Oh yeah, also Steve's ARP. Yeah, there's a couple more things. Let me get this done first, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first stage, this decam free comp, which is like a bus compressor, very similar in kind of concept to the SSL G series, which is very popular, and the Ableton Glue compressor, same kind of vibe. So I'm going to put that there. Then what I would do is I would put an EQ. Now, an EQ that I really like is this Vibe EQ from Stillwell. All right, so this for me has a nice kind of vibe sonically. It's the sort of thing that I like. And then what I would do is also on the last insert, and on Cubase, what I would do, I'm just going to show you here, I would actually put this on the bottom. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where's routing? Okay, now this is another thing that's new with the new mixer that I haven't sussed out. I used to put stuff post fader. I'm not sure if this is the case still, whether the order is the same. I'll need to look into this, but anyway, I used to put my L2 post fader as the last stage. I've forgotten where it is. There we go. Right, so L2 stereo, and this is basically the last stage of the process. Just for the moment, I'm going to drop it down as a high-res CD master, and let's just take this off. Let's have a listen, see how that is at the moment. It needs some work. You can see overall my level is really conservative, so we can bring that up, and we could do that at one of the earlier stages, like for example here on the compressor. Now with this sort of thing, I would probably vary between, say, about, I don't know, any of these three here in terms of gelling the whole mix together. I'm going to be inclined to go for a 10 for the moment. I'm going to take the ratio to 4. This would usually be between 2 and 4 to 1, quite shallow, and the threshold will adjust that in a minute, and let's just see what happens. You can really feel it squashing in there. Can bring the gain up here. Just going to bypass the compressor for you so you can see how it sounds. So it's whoa. Cubase just wouldn't stop there. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, so this decam free comp is actually a free compressor, and it's actually nice. It's got a nice vibe to it. If you need a really kind of cost-effective, very very cheap bus compressor, it's got a nice sound to it for sure. So for me, that's working quite nicely there. So looking at the gain reduction meter, I just want to see how much it is pulling it down. That's pretty good. That's not too much. I don't want it to be lots of gain reduction. It's going to sound too unnatural. And this is working nicely, so I'm going to keep that. All right. So now we can add some more level by bringing down the threshold on the L2 and make it nice and loud. So we get a lot of more volume out of that. Don't want it to be reducing too much. The attenuation meter over here, personally I don't want to see that going below 6. Usually I'd be conservatively going about -3 or so over here. And what about EQ? I mean, we can use this to do a little bit of work. I'll show you. So what I just did there, sounding nice on the headphones for sure, but once again, you know, I need to check on the speakers, is I just did a little bit of the low end turning up here. This is a low shelf, cut at 240. The 2.5K frequencies I just took down, and then added a little bit of high end boost to brighten it up as well. So this is kind of like a little bit of a mastering vibe, and that's an approach that I use quite often. So I think that's giving us a nice level there. What I need to do is take a look at just a couple more elements, and then we'll be done on this particular video. So let's have a look at the flute. That needs some integrating. It feels messy at the moment. So what I have to do is, between the end of this video and the next video, is to focus on, you know, getting those automated sections back. I'll go back to the original project, copy all the stuff over, and get us back in place. Let's bring this in context. Sounds quite thick. Turn on the low cut. Let's do some effects send. Nice actually with the reverb there. Right, didn't mean to do that. Let's just take that off. Sounds nice. I might be inclined to just lift out some of these frequencies, not there, somewhere over here. There we go. Let's have a listen. Just a little bit of a brightness thing. Just want to get some of that sort of blowing noise emphasized. Yeah, that's sounding nice. What else do we have? We had some strings later on, and then the ARP. Let's have a look over here. Right, we've got a lot of fluctuation in level there. I'm going to need to compress this. I'm also hearing some bottom end. Yeah, look at that rumble down there. Also, a little bit of high frequency energy I think I'm going to tame down. Could do about 18K. Right, I just did something with the keyboard shortcuts there. Let's get this sorted out. There we go. Basically, I just rolled off all the frequencies. That's quite funny, so we heard nothing. Let me just loop this. So look at the fader, look at the jumps up and down in level. So we've got like a kind of average level down here, and then it jumps up. Feels a little bit wild. I just want to tame that. And let's come down, dynamics. Let's get the wrong compressor there. But you could easily use that one. Let's come back to this. That one previously, I've got to say, is not in the default Cubase bundle. That's an extra plugin. So let's come back to the Cubase one. You see the gain reduction over here. It's just kind of smoothing this out at the moment. And I'm liking the sound of that, so I'm just going to leave that. All right. Feels much more useful. Doesn't feel so ragged and messy as before.
Way of life.
I'm thinking actually maybe some crashes or something could really help this, you know, some transitional sounds. Even though at the very, very beginning of the project I was feeling that wouldn't be the case, but now I do feel we could have done something like that there. Let's check this section.
Way of life. Way of life.
Oh my gosh, that's all too much. I'm going to take the effects off for the moment. Right, that's cool. Let me check over here. Ah, right, okay. So the stabs are flipping over here. I'm trying to remember the reason for this. I can't. It's been a while since we looked at that. So look, I'm out of time for this particular session. What I'll do is between now and next time, I'll apply the same settings to these stabs. We'll get the breakdown effects all reinstated. So I think actually it's probably one more video on the mixing, and then probably one more video just to tidy up the elements and get all of these the missing bits, maybe a couple of little fills here and there, crash cymbals, splash cymbals, to create like a sense of the movement over the whole composition. But we're very, very nearly there.